So we are going to the Hood Museum of Art. Now let's see. Hello, my name is Sunglim Kim, and I am Associate Professor in the Department of Art History and the Asian Societies, Cultures and Languages program at Dartmouth College. Oh, hi, Sehwan. Welcome to our Modern Girls team. We are making an educational video. And would you like to hear what we are working on?
Hi, I'm Sky, and I am working on the Korean modern girl of this project. And then Korean modern girls are quite different from the other modern girls in the global part. So I'm focusing on their appearance and their material culture, how they were perceived, and then the criticism against them.
Hi, I'm Ji Young. I'm working on the global aspect of the modern girl. So we're looking at global trends in various countries. Specifically, we were looking at their physicality, their psychological aspect, and also the criticism against modern girls.
Okay, that's it for now. So thanks for coming and see you later with a video. Bye!
So Professor Kim, what classes do you teach?
I teach modern and contemporary Korean art, East meets West, women, gender and art in East Asia, and exploring Korea through films and diverse courses. And this morning I have a class on contemporary Korean art, which I co-teach with my historian colleague. And we teach about Korea from Three Kingdoms period and contemporary times. Okay, we are here. I have class now. I'll see you again. There were 5 kind of like palaces in the Joseon dynasty. When you kind of go into the mid Buddha or king, 2005. Huh? There's no cat. Unfortunately, Buddha was not depicted for a long time. Okay, that's all. I will see you next Monday, and we'll finish it, and we'll look at the category screens. Okay?
Professor Kim, how's the response from the students who take your class?
I believe many students have become interested in about Korea, and their interests have been very diverse. About 10 years ago, when I first taught about Korea, students came to a class with very little knowledge and information of Korea. However, nowadays, students come to class with lots of information and their interests have been very diverse. And recently, many students ask me about if I watched the Squid Game, and they like to talk about it passionately with me and among themselves. I'm going to interview 3 students of their experience in Korean classes. So now let's see. How did the class help you to shape images or understanding of Korea? In other words, what is your perception of Korea now?
Taking Professor Kim's Intro to Korean Culture class has definitely changed my perception of Korea. Before I took the class, my main contact with Korea was through my American history studies and the Korean War. And so in taking the class and learning about over 2,000 years of Korean history and the rich culture that continues to this day, it's definitely emboldened and helped clarify my understanding of Korea.
Growing up, I didn't really know much more about the Korean Peninsula than that there was a North Korea that was a potential war threat and a South Korea that had K-pop and sometimes a good TV show or two. And taking Korean courses here at Dartmouth has really shown me that there's a lot more to Korea, both North and South, than those really simplified ideas. They are 2 places rich in culture, rich in history, that is much more complicated than 2 places that don't like each other very much. And I think that I've learned that it's really valuable to explore the history of Korea because There's so many parallels to the Western world and history that we learn about, as well as some really fascinating differences that I feel are valuable to know when learning about the world.
After taking Korea-related courses, did you pay more attention to Korea? If so, how?
I have always been interested in modern issues like the Korean education system or international relations in the peninsula. But after taking these courses with Professor Kim, I understand a lot more of what's going on with the art and the cultural side of the Korean peninsula. I follow many Korean artists on Instagram, and I have also sought out many opportunities to learn more about Korea outside the classroom. For example, when I visited another Dartmouth student in New York this summer, I went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and specifically the Korean wing of the museum, and toured it on my own and understood a lot of it.
Okay, I'm going to the museum. Let's go with me. We are going through a library, which is a shortcut. And this is the first floor, the center of library, and I would like to show you something. And we have a Korean collection of books just at the center of the library. And I do come here for books, references, etc. So here are some Korean art history books. Okay, now we will move on. Okay, now I'm walking out of Baker Library, the main library. It was constructed in 1928, and if you see here, it is modeled after the Independence Hall in Philadelphia. And from here, we are looking at the Hopkins Center of Arts, where Dartmouth students, residents, and visitors alike can enjoy live music and art from around the world. The Hopkins Center is also called the Hope, and it opened in 1962, and it resembles after famed Lincoln Center in New York City. However, its opening preceded that of Lincoln Center. So we are going to the Hood Museum of Art. Hood actually houses the college art collections, which now total about 65,000 pieces, which have been assembled since 1772. So we are inside the Hood Museum, and we are going to the galleries where I'm curating the shows. So let's come with me. So the exhibition will be held here from September 2022 to March 2023. And the exhibition is about this contemporary Korean ink painter, Park Dae-sung. Then it will be held in 3 galleries. The main gallery, Lathrop, and Jeffy, the second one, and the hall, the third one. The whole 3 galleries. For the show, I interviewed the director and academic programming curator. So let's see.
Hello, my name is Amelia Kale, and I'm the Barbara C. and Harvey P. Hood 1918 Curator of Academic Programming at the Hood Museum of Art at Dartmouth. For the Park Dae-sung show, we have several programs planned that will reach our audiences in different ways. He will be our annual Dr. Alan W. Root Contemporary Art Distinguished Lecturer, giving a large public talk. There will also be the chance to interact with students, both in an academic way through Professor Kim's Korean art history class, and more informally at a student artist lunch. Park Dae-sung will also speak with our docents who provide the majority of our community tours.
Dr. Stonberg, would you like to tell us about the significance of the Park Dae-sung show?
The museum is really looking forward to hosting the show, Park Dae-sung. It'll be the first time we've had an exhibition dedicated to contemporary Korean art. it fits in with the strategic plan of the museum, which is to focus on global culture.
Nowadays, I'm teaching classes, organizing an exhibition, writing a book on artists, along with 6 other scholars, and organizing 2 symposiums, collaborating with Harvard University Korea Institutes, and sponsored by the Korean Arts Management Center and Korea Foundation. I'll continue to teach, research, and write about Korean art and culture. I'll collaborate with other scholars on Korean art in the larger context of global history and culture. Thank you.
Professor Kim, where are you headed?
I'm going to, yeah. Okay, we are here. I'll have class. I'll see you again. Okay, I'm going to the library. 다시.
So Professor Kim, how's 질문 저기 뭐였지? 이런 까먹었다. So Professor Kim, how's the response from the students who take your class?
I think many students have become interested in Korean and yeah.